This is episode number 25, and today I'm talking about how you can create calmness no matter what situation you're faced with. Welcome along to the DressageRiderTraining.com podcast. I'm Nicola Smith, and in each episode I'll bring you an educational or inspiring message to help you unlock your true potential as a dressage athlete. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Negative emotions are just signals. They're just triggers. They're letting you know that you're now focused on something outside of your control. In order to be able to create more calmness within different situations we face, it's important to realise that there is very little inside of our control, and what you want to do is make sure that you're not pouring your energy into things that you can't control. When it comes to horses, they're unpredictable. And if you're pushing your comfort zone and you're out competing, there are lots of elements outside of your control. So before you spiral into an overwhelmed state where anxiety kicks in and you're running on adrenaline, take a moment and realise there's no sense in trying to control who's in your class because you can't. There's no sense trying to control what the judges will give you because you can't. There's no sense trying to control the weather because you can't. There's no sense worrying about what so-and-so is saying on the sideline because you can't control that. So just let go of those things, allow them to just happen, and instead you want to focus on what you can control. When you pull back everything, like all of the things we worry about, there's actually only so many things that are inside of our control, and there's an infinite number of things outside of our control. The key is to recognise first what it is you can control and let go of the rest. If you don't, you can spend your entire time wrapped up in negative emotions on things you simply can't control or can't change. If you've done any sort of reading on philosophy, what you can control is only a few things. The only thing you can control first is your response to the situation that you're put in and your effort. When you put this into your riding and performance at a competition, what is it that you can control? I see it as these things. You can control your eating, your sleep, the learning of your test, your preparation and training before the day, your timing and warm-up on the day and around your test. Maybe a couple of other things that are personal to you, but the list is very small compared to all of the things you can't control. And when you take time to really narrow it down, this can really help us create more balance, reduce stress, and when you actually notice those negative emotions bubble up to the surface, ask yourself why they're there, and it's probably because you're focused on all the things you can't control. You see, life can throw us curveballs all the time, and of course these principles don't just apply to riding. We can get wound up in so many things we can't control. However, when we take a moment to breathe, think, and respond, we can alleviate a whole lot of extra stress and emotion that was coming in our way. When it comes to riding, you can control your preparation and the work and the effort that you put in. You can't control the horse, but you can control what you do. When it comes to competitions, you can't control the weather, but you can control your preparation for that weather and your response to the weather, and of course the clothes that you wear. Horses are unpredictable and the unexpected happens. You can't control this, but you can control your response to this and how you react. You can take some things into your control and prepare for them, and therefore be more prepared for the unexpected, because rarely do things run smoothly. But if your preparation has allowed for the unexpected, you're therefore going to be more prepared and more in control. There are, of course, some things that you can't prepare for. For example, when your horse spoots at a man riding a bike at a competition coming around fast around a corner, You could react instantly to that man and tell him your 2 cents, or you could breathe, respond, and there's usually 2 things that will happen in the situation. One is a reaction-driven response driven by emotions, and the other is a calm response-driven response. It's always better to give yourself a moment and to respond versus reacting. In any situation where you feel yourself get frustrated, angry, afraid, depressed, or feel some sort of a negative emotion that's bubbling up to the surface, remember, negative emotions are just signals. They're just a trigger. They're letting you know that you're focusing on things outside of your control. So instead of reacting with emotion and getting frustrated and projecting out and losing control on things you can't control, instead focus on being present. What can you control in this moment? By staying focused on things you can control, there's no anxiety or stress. Staying in a mindful present state with no judgment or fear. That's when mindfulness is also mindfulness practice. When we put time to work on our own mindset and supply our mind with the correct fuel, we're practicing for those moments. This is why meditations and mindfulness practices are so powerful in helping you train your mind to stay focused on what you can control. Training your brain to stay calm and giving yourselves the tools to do so. Meditations are your way for actually practicing for when the crap really goes down, whether it's horse related or just life related. And then when it goes down, you can stay in your parasympathetic state, where you're calm, where you rest and digest, and not spiral into a sympathetic cortisol-driven flight or fright response. By remaining in a calm state, you're not nervous, you're not scared, not anxious. You're just able to be and respond on things that you can control. Don't sell yourself short for what you can control, which is effort and your response. When it comes to life, business, writing, friendships, saving, competitions, the idea behind this is giving you as much effort as you can into what you can control and let go of the rest. When you start to feel those negative emotions around a situation, that's a signal you're no longer focusing on things you can control and you need to pull back. Realizing that negative thought patterns are just signals for you to refocus. You've got to step back, recenter yourself, get your wits about you, and then go back, give it your next best effort or attempt, and remember to train your mind by using meditations in the off season. So when those storms come, you can remain in that calm, centered state of mind. That's it for this episode. If you found it helpful, make sure you download my free guide at dressageridertraining.com. It will help you get started on your journey to becoming the best rider you can be. If you know others who might like the show, please do share this with them. My goal is to help others enjoy their riding even more by taking care of themselves as much as they do their horses. And finally, if you have time to give this podcast a review, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.